MiddleEasy.com here with boss Brian Ebersole. Brian, what brings you out to Las Vegas?
Some of the best combat athletes in America brought me out to Las Vegas. You know, the attraction of Robert Drysdale and his academy was really big. One of my mates in Australia is the Hayabusa rep, so that common sponsor and that common thread led him to becoming a Drysdale affiliate. So Robert's been out there a couple times. I actually met him in Melbourne. My mate's out of Western Australia and he corners me for the UFC. Hi Taff, talking about you, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, so the arena out there in Rockingham was that common thread to Robert. I finally got to wrestle with him and he humbled me on the mat. I couldn't even make him respond to me. It's like I wasn't even there. So having a BJJ brown belt for my next opponent in the UFC really made me want to seek this training opportunity to sharpen up my ground skills, get that confidence, and then head into that fight.
Talk about your next fight and tell the fans where they can see it and who your opponent is.
My next fight's UFC on FX4. I'm on the main card, the undercard to Guida and Maynard. Very, very exciting lightweight main event. So hopefully I can get out of my fight uninjured and healthy enough to be able to sit and watch that one from the locker room happily in a celebration mode. And rooting for Clay. He's another Illinois boy, so it's going to be a great card. It's on FX June 22nd. I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time in the U.S.
And your opponent?
TJ Waldberger is my opponent. He's a BJJ brown belt out of Texas. He's got wins over like Mike Schrumpf. He fought Johnny Hendricks and lost by TKO. I think that fight was stopped a bit early. He hit the mat after taking a big punch and kicked Hendricks off of him, and the ref stepped in and stopped it. I think TJ was a bit, you know, wondering what was going on, so that was a bit of a Mazzagatti moment or something. But yeah, I mean, he's a hard guy to finish from everything I've seen. He's fought Pete Spratt 2 or 3 times, so he's comfortable on his feet, working against good strikers. And again, a submission whiz. You know, I went and trained with his last opponent, Jake Hetched, a week ago down in Springfield. And after this week with Drysdale, I'm going back there to finish my last week of camp. So they had a game plan for him, so I'm talking with them about, you know, what they saw in him in his previous fights that they were trying to exploit. So I'm comfortable with my game plan, comfortable with the opponent, tough young kid, and it's the first 20-something I've fought in the UFC. I think everyone else I've faught's been 30 or above, so this will be a bit of a change of pace for me.
What are your thoughts on your division right now?
It's a clusterfuck. Excuse my language, but it's an absolute mess. You know, we got GSP hurt. They put up an interim title, so Condit's got that. The interim title is supposed to be an active title that is used to determine who's going to take the belt if GSP doesn't come back within a set amount of time, whatever that amount of time is. It's probably about a year. If he doesn't defend his title within a year, that interim title becomes the title. But Condit's opting to wait for that fight, which is a bit, you know, a bit strange, you know what I mean? So it's really putting a log jam at the top of the division. You know, and then even with Condit and St. Pierre both having Greg Jackson as a coach, that makes it even more awkward. Koscheck's coming off a big win. Rory McDonald hasn't been beat since the loss to Condit. Fitch just got beat by Johnny Hendricks, you know, and again, Hendricks, did Hendricks just beat Koscheck? Koscheck's coming off a loss. I misspoke. So Hendricks is coming off 2 big wins against 2 former title contenders. I mean, you know, Dan Hardy's back in the mix with a win, you know, so, you know, it really is. There's a long climb, man, and I don't know how it's going to go.
Thoughts on Nick Diaz's marijuana suspension?
It was metabolites. I mean, I think he's got a case. I'm not mad at him. You know, he's got a medical card for it. It's a medical condition. You got these guys on testosterone replacement that's got him, you know, like rampage, fucking like a rabbit. I think that's a little bit more of an infraction and a bit more of a performance enhancer than marijuana. Bless you, it might help you relax and get some sleep at night, but I don't really think it's helping your cardio, and I don't think it's making you stronger. But you know, it is what it is. He's got his medical marijuana card out in California. You can sit and argue the semantics of the whole thing, but not a big deal. Just a big publicity thing, and yeah, whether the sport's better for it or not, who's to say?
What's your thought on all this TRT?
I don't know, man. Do you really need it? Really? I don't know. I mean, there's guys on it that have the exemptions that I respect as athletes. It makes me wonder why they're on it, what the big deal is. Sylvester Stallone made this stuff famous. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to get my dad some. Seeing him turn 50, 55 years old, his shoulders start to hunch. He's probably an inch and a half shorter than he used to be. I'd love to perk him back up. But as a younger guy under 40 years old, I don't know if I can really justify it, but I don't know all the science behind it, man. I was a science major in college, but I've long since left that journey and went the knucklehead route and became a fighter. So scientifically, I'll leave that to the experts.
Before I let you go, is there anything you want to tell our readers?
Keep reading. It's an entertaining website. They're funny.
There you go, Brian Ebersole. Thanks for taking the time, boss. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.